مشاهدينا في كل مكان، اهلا ومرحبا بكم. احنا معاكم النهارده لقائنا من داخل سفارة دولة تركيا. لقائنا اليوم مع سعادة السفير صالح مطلوشن، سفير دولة تركيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. هنتحدث مع سعادة السفير عن ابرز محطاته الدبلوماسية وايضا عن عادات وتقاليد الشعب التركي، فابقوا معنا وتابعونا. مكان بيسعدنا ان يكون في ضيافتنا اليوم سعادة السفير صالح مطلوشان، سفير دولة تركيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. Your Excellency, please allow me to thank you so much for this interview.
You are most welcome and thank you for having me in your program.
Your Excellency, first we would like to know more about your diplomatic stations before coming to Egypt. So can you tell us more about it, please?
Yes, with pleasure. Before coming to Egypt, I was in Ankara for 2 years. And before that, I was in Saudi Arabia. I was the permanent representative of Turkey to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which Egypt is a member. And before that, I was the Deputy Director General for the Middle East. I also served in New York, the United Nations, in again Saudi Arabia's Consul General in Poland, and in the Organization of Security and Cooperation in Europe in Vienna. And I started my career in Afghanistan. I was chargé d'affaires in Afghanistan. I practically, because there was war at that time in 1994, 95, 96. And I had to be in Islamabad for 8 months, and I was traveling to Kabul, Kandahar, and Mazar-e-Sharif to see the political parties and leaders there. Mm-hmm. And then I permanently moved to Kabul to reopen our embassy there. And then after having done that, I was assigned to take care of our consulate in Mazar-e-Sharif. So it's a long career, more than 30 years. But of course, Egypt is probably, together with Saudi Arabia, the two countries that had lasting impact on my career, and probably full of challenges and achievements, if I may say so. So these two countries are very special to me, both Egypt and Saudi Arabia.
Your Excellency, please, we would like to know more about Turkey by explaining the geographic nature of the country and the natural resources. Can you tell us?
Turkey lies in the Mediterranean, in the Middle East, in Asia, Anatolian part, and partially in Europe. It is a peninsula, which means it is encircled by the Black Sea on the north, and an Aegean Sea and Marmara Sea on the west, and Mediterranean Sea in the south. Through the Mediterranean, Turkey and Egypt are neighbors, because when you sail from Alexandria to Mersin, it takes 1.5 days to get there by sea. What is different about Turkey's topography, geography, is that it has 4 seasons, because it's in the northern hemisphere, but the location and the topography makes it very cold in the winters, mountains make it even colder. And it can be very hot, like Egypt during the summertime. But we also have spring, when the flowers blossom, and the autumn, where the leaves of the trees fall down. So it's very picturesque. But this topography and geography presents Turkey with another peculiar aspect. That is that Turkey's flora, meaning vegetation, in terms of its diversity, is so huge in numbers that I think we have more than 5,000 different kind of flora that because of the mountains, valleys, and because of the plains and the rivers. So as compared to Europe, the total number of flora in terms of plantation, diversity of the plantation, the vegetation, is equal to Turkey, that of Turkey, in the whole Europe. That is one of the reasons why the vegetables taste very nice in Turkey. Also, for example, if you take cows and sheep, the meat, the taste of the meat is very high because of this vegetation. The herds, the sheep, the cows, they actually graze in the mountains with the vegetables, with the plantation, with the flora that gives a lot of taste to the meat. One can have a holiday, a summer holiday, by descending Antalya during the summer, but if you go up to the mountains, you can find the snow. So that is very interesting and very, very appealing about Turkey. As regards natural resources, we are not a rich country in terms of oil or gold or coal or natural gas. So we depend very much. It's beautiful, but we don't have the oil like Saudi Arabia or the Kuwait or Qatar, natural gas like Qatar. We import basically all our natural gases, or natural energy resources from outside, like 90%, 80% of them. But we depend more on manufacturing and industry. So, because we don't have a ready-made natural resource to sell to international markets. So therefore, we have to create added value on our goods through our industry and manufacturing.
What distinguishes the industry in Turkey? What really distinguishes this field?
In the last 20 years, the manufacturing industry has gained a lot of strength and capacity in Turkey. For example, in auto industry is very developed in Turkey, and auto parts, automobile, and the furniture industry, the high-end textile industry, and machinery, and construction material is highly developed, and some high-tech also. So these are industries we have a cutting edge, and that gives us a lot of advantage in terms of export volume. For example, in 2023, the volume of Turkish exports have reached more than $250 billion. And this, we had to do it to increase our wealth and the prosperity of our people. We have been putting a lot of emphasis on the export. So it's a Turkey, basically a modern Turkey is a trading nation. More than half of our GDP, gross domestic product, consists of foreign trade. So we have a foreign trade agreement with the European Union, with Egypt, with many countries in the Mediterranean. We always defend and advance free trade with all our partners, because through trade we create prosperity and income.
Relation between Turkey and Egypt, we will talk about it in details, but allow me first to complete talking about the country itself and the people. So, Your Excellency, can you tell us about the traditions, the customs, and the handcrafts, the things that distinguish the country and the people?
Because Turkey, the Turkish people, we usually distinguish between 7 regions of Turkey. This is because of the climate and because of the administration, but also all these 7 regions have diverse and very colorful local culture. For example, we have Black Sea region, we have Eastern region, Southeastern region, Anatolian, Middle Anatolian region, Aegean, Mediterranean, Marmara regions. When you go closer, and then look at their local culture, the way they dress, the way they speak, the way they make their food and their traditions and folklore, is extremely rich. Turkey is one of the leading countries in terms of, for example, traditional dances. Every region in Turkey has its own kind of traditional dance. When I was a child, for example, I remember in my town when my mother took me to weddings, I remember very well the way traditionally the women dressed, very colorful. Sometimes I put it out in the Facebook, the pictures of the traditional Turkish ladies. In fact, that's true, because when I was a child, in our street, every woman wore traditional dresses, and it was very, not only colorful, but such a complex dress. This was not that one piece, probably 8-10 pieces. The headdress, the golden bracelet there, and the skirt and the pant underneath it, the specially designed shoe, and the belt, especially made belt. So it was so colorful and interesting. And the songs, our songs in our 7 regions are also very different and very appealing and nice to hear and pleasant. So, but of course, unfortunately, the industrialization and the urbanization marginalized the traditional way of living, both in dress and the folklore and the language. We still have it, but unfortunately, because we have too many big cities, and people have become, of course, more occupied with their daily lives and the modern needs of modern life. Women has to work also to earn a living. But we still maintain as a symbol of our traditional culture and then showcase them, but it is unfortunately not that common. But we have in music, for example, 2 types of music that we call Turkish music. One is the Turkish art music, called art music. It consists of modern Republican period art music. It also includes the Ottoman classical art music. We have had even Ottoman sultans who composed music. For example, Sultan Abdulaziz, who paid a visit during his reign to Egypt, was a great composer. So, in fact, there is a lot of interaction between Turkish and Egyptian. It's easy to adopt the Turkish music. So this Turkish art music and Ottoman classical music,
Turkish and Egyptian music, and also Turkish and Egyptian drama.
Yes, absolutely. But in this music, because Egyptian music is, very strongly rooted and influence a lot of, musical traditions and all over the world. And the modern Egyptian music, starting in the 1950s with Kulthum, also influenced Turkish music. But I mean, in the end, the 2 musical traditions are similar and very close. Anyway, that is one of the reasons why I, in fact, collected a group of band of Egyptian musicians, and then I commissioned them to play 20 pieces of Turkish art music and Turkish classical music, and they played very well. We had several concerts here, and we will still have them for our concerts. So, and the second type of music is the Turkish folklore music, which is the people's music. So this music is performed traditionally by traditional people from rural areas, and this is what we call Turkish folklore music. And it's a different type of music, but still both of them are still popular and then performed in Turkey. Turkish food is extremely important, and Egyptian people love Turkish food. Of course, we have refined the traditional Turkish food, but because, as I said, of the taste of the meat in Turkey, and then the diversity of the vegetables, and also as well as, of course, various types of Black Sea fish, Asian fish, and the Mediterranean fish, our food culture is extremely rich, one of the richest in the world. And that also stems from our traditional cuisine, as well as the cuisine that we have developed in Istanbul by interacting with the sea and with addition, of course, of Mediterranean diets.
Dishes blended here in Egypt that even some Egyptian doesn't know that they are from Turkey. They think they are an Egyptian traditional plate, although it's the opposite. Can you please tell us about the role of women in Turkey? We know more about the traditions now and about the country and the people, but we would like to know more. What did the women achieve in Turkey?
Women constitute 50% of the population in every country, in Turkey and Egypt also. So in society and in the workplace, if you exclude women and then if you restrict women to certain spaces, the life will be incomplete. The productivity of the society will be incomplete. And of course, it is about the women's right, the individual's right for the women. Since the founding of the Republic, but from the Ottoman times also, women have taken more and more visible and active role in Turkey. But with Atatürk, when one of the most important advancements he has achieved was for women. He has granted the right to vote to women and then promoted their role, their active participation in the workplace and also in education. President Erdogan has been very active in promoting the participation of women, not only visibly, actively, not only in society but in the workplace and in the education sector also, because he has two daughters. And then President Erdogan himself sent them to the university and supported their education. And the daughters of President Erdogan take active part in several women's associations and then defend and advocate the rights of women in Turkey. So there is a complete consensus in Turkish society, both in the conservative sections of the society and other modern secular sectors, for advocating more better role and status for women in general. So today we can see the conservative women working in the banks, working in the government departments, working in the universities, especially in the universities. Women are represented in the work in terms of workplace most in education as teachers and universities, and in the banking sector in Turkey, because they are very diligent about the computing and accounting. So in the sports also, as you have seen, Turkey is the most successful national team of Turkey is the Turkish women's volleyball team. It is in the rankings, it is number 2 in the world, all over the world.
Very exciting.
So, and we all as society, we support this team and we are very proud of them. So, the principles that is laid out by Atatürk in the foundation of the Turkish Republic regarding the status of the women and their advancement is defended and advocated and taken forward by President Erdogan. And today, alhamdulillah, women from every walk of life take an active part. But of course, this full participation of women in the workplace and the urbanization, industrialization brought another result to us that is probably a bit complex and complicated. That as the women started taking more active role in the workplace and in the cities, of course, like everyone, like men, they have become more individual. And the age of marriage Turkey started getting later and later and older. And now one of the most important issues that we face as Turkish society is the number of the children that the families make. Our birth rate is declining, and for the future, it is going to be a potential issue, problem for us. So we're trying to promote, President Erdogan is promoting, supporting marriage, and then promoting the families to have at least 3 children. So at least 3 children is our now official policy. Unfortunately, we have not been successful in increasing the number of the children that the families have. We have failed, but we're still trying. So since we have mentioned this, there has to be, while advocating for the status of the women, which is absolutely a human right also,
but building families and having
this, we should take measures, take care that this doesn't affect the structure of the family. So we should, in Turkey, I think, and in Egypt, make such arrangements that when women takes part in the workplace and a career, we should show them all support to have children, to raise the children. When they have children, they should have longer leaves. They should be allowed to go to work late, come back early. We should create spaces in the workplace for them to take care of the children.
Of course,
these kind of things, support, are extremely important, because on the way to advancement of women and in urbanization, industrialization, we should always take care that family and the family values are protected.
Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time with us, and please allow us to have another meeting to talk about the relation between Egypt and Turkey. Thank you so much again for this time.
With great pleasure.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، وبكده انتهى معاكم لقائنا مع سعادة السفير صالح مطلوشن، سفير دولة تركيا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. بتمنى ان تكونوا تابعتوا معنا الحلقة دي، واشوفكم في لقاء آخر، وإلى اللقاء.